Of course. Sit back. This is a long one. A story about a city, a family, and a man caught in between. It's about coming home, only to find your home has been stolen from you. It all begins with a plane touching down at Los Santos International. The air is thick, warmer than he remembered. After 5 long years on the East Coast, Carl Johnson is back. But this ain't no happy homecoming. He's here to bury his mother. He barely has time to take a breath before the welcome wagon shows up. Not family, not friends. The law, or what passes for it in Los Santos. Officers Tenpenny and Pulaski, 2 corrupt cops with smiles like broken glass, pull up and stuff him into their cruiser. They're all fake concern and hard elbows. They talk about a cop killing, a murder weapon they just happened to find on him. It's a setup, plain and simple. They call him a gang-banging, drug-pushing, cop-killing bitch. And then, as a final insult, they dump him out in the middle of Ballas territory. The Ballas, the sworn enemies of his old gang, the Grove Street families. Tenpenny's last words echo in his ears as they speed away. See you around like a donut, Carl. So there he is, CJ, standing in the worst part of town, wearing the wrong colors, with nothing but the clothes on his back. The Grove Street he left behind is a ghost. The houses are dilapidated. The streets are crawling with Ballas and Vagos, and his own gang is a shadow of its former self. The first person he sees is his brother, Sweet. And Sweet ain't happy to see him. The anger pours out of him. He throws Brian's death in his face, accuses him of running away when things got tough. The love is there, buried deep under layers of resentment, but it's a cold welcome. He meets the old crew. There's Big Smoke, larger than life, still spouting his philosophical nonsense between bites of a giant meal. The same things that make us laugh, make us cry, he says, talking about CJ's mom. And there's Ryder, cynical and loud, always complaining. The family is broken, and the neighborhood is dying around him. At his mother's grave, the reality hits him. She's gone, and the streets are cold. Sweet tells him straight, things are bad. The families are fractured, the Ballas are pushing drugs hard, and the Vagos are moving in. Grove Street don't bang no more. But CJ is a Johnson, and Johnsons don't lay down. He starts small. He gets his colors back, a green bandana that means something. He gets a haircut, shedding the look of an outsider. He picks up a can of spray paint, and with Ryder riding shotgun, he starts reclaiming the hood, tagging over the Ballas's purple scrawl. It feels like trying to hold back the ocean with a bucket, but it's a start. He helps Sweet push back. They cruise the streets, hunting down the Ballas who are slinging crack to their own people. They get into wild shootouts, chaotic drive-bys that leave the streets littered with shell casings and wrecked cars. He reconnects with his sister, Kendall, who's smart and has a vision for something bigger. But she's also dating a guy from the Varios Los Aztecas, a Mexican gang. His name is Cesar, and Sweet hates him on principle. This causes no end of tension. And all the while, those cops, Tenpenny and Pulaski, are like vultures circling. They pull him over, threaten him, and force him to do their dirty work. They own him. They make him assassinate a rival drug dealer, destroy evidence for them, all while reminding him that they can snuff out his brother Sweet's life in prison with a single phone call. It's a cage. Every time he tries to help Grove Street, They yank on his chain. But through Cesar, he starts to see a way out. Cesar is loyal, smart, and he shows CJ the truth. One night, from under a freeway overpass, Cesar points out a green Sabre car, and behind the wheel is Big Smoke. Our Big Smoke, meeting with the Ballas. The betrayal is a physical blow. Smoke, the man who was like an uncle, is the one who sold them out. He's the one who set up the hit that killed their mother. Before CJ can process this, everything goes to hell. Sweet, trying to unite the families against the drug trade, calls a meeting at the Jefferson Motel. It's a trap. The place is swarmed by cops. It's a massacre. In the chaos, Sweet is shot and captured. As CJ tries to save him, Tenpenny and Pulaski snatch him up. They beat him senseless, put a bag over his head, and drive him out to the middle of the desert, leaving him for dead in a town called Whetstone. He wakes up broken, miles from home. The only person he can turn to is the truth, the crazy hippie he met earlier, a man who talks about aliens and government conspiracies. The truth gives him shelter, and soon a new nightmare begins. A mysterious government spook named Mike Terreno contacts him. Terreno knows everything, and he makes an offer CJ can't refuse. You work for me, and I'll make sure your brother stays alive in prison. So begins a bizarre detour. CJ becomes Terreno's errand boy. He's stealing prototype jetpacks, commandeering fighter jets from aircraft carriers, and blowing up spy ships. He's working with a psychopathic woman named Catalina, robbing banks and betting shops in the countryside. It's insane, dangerous work that has nothing to do with Grove Street, but it's the price for Sweet's life. He also follows Kendall and Cesar to San Fierro. The city is a change of pace, all hills and fog and new gangs. He helps them set up a garage, Transfender, and through that, he meets the Triads. He works for a man named Woozy Moo, Woozy, who, despite being blind, is the sharpest and most powerful gangster CJ has ever met. Together, they plan the unthinkable, robbing Caligula's palace, the biggest casino in Las Venturas, a city run by the Italian mafia. The heist is a thing of beauty, with a crew including a nervous, cocaine-fueled lawyer named Ken Rosenberg and a tech genius named Zero. They pull it off. They disable the power, break into the vault, and escape disguised as cops. It sets them up for life. The Four Dragons Casino becomes theirs. For the first time, CJ has real money, real power. But it all feels empty without his brother. He finally forces Terreno's hand. Sweet is released from prison. The reunion is raw. Sweet is hardened, angry at the world and angry at CJ for living large in fancy cities while the Grove rotted. He drags CJ back to Los Santos, and what he sees breaks his heart. Their mother's old house is a crack den. Their childhood friends are junkies. The legendary Big Bear, a mountain of a man, is now a slave to the pipe, cleaning house for a dealer. This is the final straw. The Johnson brothers, together again, declare war. They rally the remnants of Grove Street, and with Cesar and his Aztecas by their side, they tear through the Ballas and Vagos neighborhoods. It's a brutal, block-by-block war, reclaiming their turf in a storm of gunfire and vengeance. The city itself is erupting around them. Tenpenny, his corruption finally exposed on television, has been acquitted. The streets of Los Santos are on fire, consumed by riots.
In the middle of the chaos, CJ and Sweet make their final move. They storm Big Smoke's crack palace, a fortified fortress in East Los Santos. The fight to the top is a bloody slog through waves of his hired guns. And then there he is, Big Smoke, sitting in his throne room, surrounded by empty food containers, a mountain of a man protected by body armor. The confrontation is tragic. Smoke is lost, paranoid, babbling about his success. "I'm a success," he yells. "I'm a motherfucking celebrity." He doesn't even have a real gun, just a fork. CJ ends it, but there's no victory in it, only a deep, profound sadness. But it's still not over. As the city burns, Tenpenny, desperate and cornered, grabs Sweet. What follows is a mad, epic chase. CJ commandeers a fire truck and pursues Tenpenny's speeding car through the flaming streets, dodging rioters and police blockades. It ends on a broken bridge, with Tenpenny clinging to a billboard of his own smug face. He loses his grip and falls, his reign of terror ending on the asphalt below. The fires eventually die down. The city begins to heal. On a hill overlooking Los Santos, the family is whole. Sweet, Kendall, Cesar, even Mad Dog, the rapper whose career CJ saved, is there, platinum record in hand. They've got money. They've got the casinos. They've got their name back. They're talking about the future, about business and music. But as they talk, CJ just turns and walks away. He walks slowly down the hill, back towards the neighborhood, back towards the grove. They call after him, but he doesn't look back, because he finally understands it was never about the money or the power or the glamour of Las Venturas. It was always about the family you choose, the streets you defend, and the home you fight for. And his home will always be the Grove.